Sorry, my hair, I'm like covered in cat hair. Current cat mama struggle. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you happen to be new here, my name is Jess. But I just wanted to go over with you guys all the books that I read in January. So far, I'm looking down at my laptop, so far I've read 14 books. I can't believe it. I'm also currently in the middle of reading 3 books. And I'll kind of go over those because, as you guys already saw in my TBR, my husband did actually pick my TBR, so those are the 4 books that I'm definitely going to be reading, and then also these 3 books that I have already started. I would like to finish those. Chances are I'll probably read more than that, but I did want to kind of set the bar low for this month because I did read so much last month, or this January, because my birthday month is actually February, so I am going to be busy with a lot of that stuff. But let's go ahead and get started because there's, like I said, 14 of them. So starting off, I'm actually going to start off with the ebooks that I read. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of the library, so I do have quite a few books that I did borrow from the library this month. The first book that I finished that I rented from the library is And I Darken by Kirsten White. I was going to DNF this book, but I'm really glad I didn't, and I do want to read the second one. It was such a different read than what I was expecting. It follows our main character, Lotta, and she and her brother are kind of like Vlad the Impaler's children in a way, or she's Vlad the Impaler. It's kind of confusing on whether she's Vlad or her dad's Vlad, but I really liked this story. The love interest in the story kind of lagged for me, and the beginning of the book was a little bit weird, but overall I really enjoyed it. I like the theme of it. I like that she is just this independent, you know, girl, and she doesn't want to do what her father wants her to do, but she doesn't want to do what the empire that she ends up, you know, where she ends up, what they want her to do, and I really liked that. I also liked that her brother did convert to Islam. I really liked that as well. I think that it was just a really cool story, and it was not at all what I was expecting. The beginning part was really great. The middle lagged a ton, and then the ending was just like a whirlwind, and I really, really liked it. I need to pick up the second one as soon as possible. So the next book I read is actually a comic book. It is Phoenix Like Ashes, and it's by Harlan Ellison. This book was not as great as I thought it was going to be. This is another book that I got from the library. I liked it. I liked the premise of it. It follows our main character, and he's kind of in this society that is ruled by computers, but the computers are essentially God, and they don't realize that it's a computer really. And then you find out that he is actually part of a tiny planet that is within a like ecosystem of a spaceship, and he gets out of the ecosystem that he's in and starts wandering around the rest of them, and he tries to go back to his society like, hey, this isn't real, like none of this is real, and we're all in danger. I really liked the premise of it, but the dialogue was really bad, and I read some really great comics this month, so I don't know why I disliked this one so much, but I know what good dialogue is supposed to be, and it was not good dialogue. The next book I read, I actually have a review going up for on my channel later this week, and it would be Neanderthal Opens the Door to the Universe by Preston Norton. I loved this book so much, so I won't go too in depth, but I have to say it's probably gonna be my favorite read of 2017, and that was just a stunning book that I read this month. The next book I read, I don't really want to talk about this, but I need to. It's Because You Love to Hate Me, 13 Tales of Villainy. That was the author and booktuber collaboration book, and I have to say, while I liked some of the stories, pretty much most of them, I would have given it a 3 or 4 star based on just the stories alone, but the booktuber part of that brought it down so much for me. Some of them were so random, some of them were just like, hey, look at me, I can write, and like, I just didn't enjoy it. It really took me out of every single story, and I gave it, I believe, 2 stars, although I could really give it 1 star. I just didn't like it. Like I said, I like the stories, but as like an overall book, I didn't really enjoy it. And the next book I read, obviously these are in no particular order, but the next one I read is Daughter of the Siren Queen. I did get an ARC from NetGalley for that as well. I did request it. I love that book. There's a full review on my blog if you guys are interested. My blog is always listed in the down bar. I adored this book. As you guys know, I love Daughter of the Pirate King so much, and to get this book early and be able to read it, and like, I've already pre-ordered it. I've had it pre-ordered for a really long time, but it was so good. It was like so much more than I thought it was going to be. All the characters are still amazing. There's a lot more gore and death in this one than I was expecting, and I really liked that. I liked that Alosa's mother is actually present in this book as well. We get more of the Pirate King, and we get more of like the fluffy romance. I really, really liked it. If you guys haven't read Daughter of the Pirate King, I would definitely recommend it. And then I also read books 8, 9, and 10 of the Dead Man Wonderland manga. If you guys don't know, that's one of my favorite animes of all time, and I wanted to read the manga, and I think I like the manga even more than the anime. They are really, really good. They are very, very gory. They're very, very messed up. They are definitely more mature content, but I really enjoyed them. So I did pick up 8, 9, and 10 from my library this month. And then I also have a physical copy of this, but I don't have it with me. It is my husband's comic, so it's probably in his office, but I did read book number 1 of The Wicked and the Divine, like I forget what they're called, not just like the single editions, but like the whole book. I read that, and Oh my god, I am so blown away by how good this comic is. I don't know why I was sleeping on it. I really, really loved it, and I need to like read the rest of them, and he does own them. They're actually on my shelf right here right now, and I'm gonna try to read them tonight. I love them so, so much. Now, getting into the physical books I actually have with me that I have read. As you guys know, I'm trying not to buy a whole lot of books this year, so I am borrowing a lot of books from the library because I could read the books that I have and it would take me like 4 or 5 months, but I did want to like actually borrow from the library because I really enjoy using them as a resource. The first one that I have read physically would be The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I always want to call her Kristen. I loved this book. It was a little bit slow in the beginning and I wasn't sure what to expect, but I have to say, after reading it, I like need the third one. I want to pre-order it, but I want them all in paperback because I have the first one in paperback, and it was so good. It follows Vasila, who is a younger girl who lives in Russia, and they kind of believe in these like spirits that inhabit like, you know, their oven and their bathhouses and, you know, that protect their house and their towns. And I really like that, but her mother dies and her father remarries, and he remarries this woman who believes strongly in God and does not believe in what she believes in. And the little beings that, you know, protect them start to kind of go away, and that's what it follows. And it also follows war and death, and they are gods, and, you know, her relationship with them. And it was so good. I've actually read the first and the second one being The Girl in the Tower. I finished this one and immediately bought a like e-copy on my Kindle of The Girl in the Tower, and I love this series so much. If you guys are looking for something like wintry, like a polar fantasy, Jade's been reading a lot of polar fantasies recently, and I did recommend this one to her. It is so, so good and so not what I was expecting, and everyone I know that has read this has really, really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a good like polar fantasy, you know, deep dark winter, kind of like a little bit spooky kind of thing, I think you guys will really enjoy this series. And then of course I also did finish The Savage Song by V.E. Schwab finally. It took me 2 months at no fault of the book at all. I really, really enjoyed this book. It's just, you know, December is when we decided to read it. We probably should have taken a break. I did not pick it back up. I stopped at like a page 150, and I didn't pick it back up until January had actually started, and I did read it and I finished it in a couple of days at the beginning of January, and I loved this book. This book was so, so good. And if you guys want a full review on this, you can check out our Hypernaut video. And the last book I read was actually a book for our quarterly book club, G Book Roast here on YouTube's quarterly book club, and it'd be The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I did not like this book. You guys can check out the live stream if you want more information on what we all thought of it. I had a lot of notes in this book, and I don't normally do that. I just didn't like it. It was presented to me as a magical realism book, and there wasn't a whole lot of magical realism going on, and that really upset me. So I wouldn't really recommend this to anyone unless you're looking for more of historical, like period piece, historical fiction kind of thing. There's supposed to be magic in it. There's obviously magic in it, but it's never explained. The ending was left really wide open. There's a dog death in here that really pissed me off. So I don't like this book, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Although a lot of people did like it, I just also had issues with pacing and lack of character development. So for me, it was kind of a waste of a read. All right, now I'm gonna get into the books that I'm currently reading and what I am planning on continuing to read in the rest of the month. Well, not the rest of the month, but the beginning of February. As I said before, you guys have already seen my TBR, but these are the books that I'm in the middle of that I'm obviously going to be bringing with me into February. I have read one of these, well, 2 of these almost all the way through, so I wanted to finish them for February. For my January wrap up, but I know I'm not going to be able to, so I did want to kind of go over those with you. I will insert a picture here of an arc that I'm reading. It's Maribel in the Book of Fate. It is a middle grade read, but I still really, really like it. I would have loved this as a child. I mean, I'm still enjoying it, but it's obviously written for a younger group. The pacing is still very good. The characters are very well developed, you know, as much as you can be in a middle grade book. Obviously, you kind of sacrifice some of that for a younger read, but I'm still really enjoying it, and I'm really excited to finish it. And the next thing that I'm going to be reading is actually another comic book that my husband suggested to me because The Wicked and the Divine was such a hit. I did also want to read Shudder. This is a comic book that I don't know a whole lot about other than she's like an explorer kind of, and then she's taken off of her home planet and left to explore on another one. And it is rated mature, so we'll see how mature it is. I do tend to really like mature comics. I'm not a huge fan of the art style of this, but I still am really excited to read it because this is on my husband's like recommended reads for me. And like I said, because he's been so good about picking books that I really enjoyed, I did also want to give this a try. And the last book I have here is a book that I am currently in the middle of. It only has about 180 pages, and I am on page 119, so I have barely any left, but it's actually Smuggler's Run. It's a Han Solo and Chewbacca adventure. It is a Star Wars book. You guys have seen me haul this last month. I am really enjoying this. It's written in a very simplistic way and the pacing is very good, but it's a very simple book. It's just like a little, you know, like a little story. It's only 180 pages. So I am still really enjoying it though. I need to finish it. I really love the art for these books as well. There's a lot of art inside of it. It doesn't take up a whole lot of the book though, because obviously it's like a novel, but there's quite a bit of art in it and I still really like it, and I'm excited to finish this as well as read the other 3 from this series that I have. Alright guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am really excited to get to all my books in February. I'm really excited to see what I'm able to read. Like I said before, it is my birthday month, so I'm probably going to be pretty busy, but I am really enjoying it. And also I hope you guys are enjoying the vlogs that I've been uploading. I really like doing that. I don't know why, but I really like vlogging. I don't ever really do anything, but it's kind of nice because I usually spend a lot of my time on Instagram stories. So it's nice to kind of save everyone's ear on Instagram from watching that, because a lot of people don't really enjoy watching things like that. So now if people actually want to watch it, they can come here and find it. But I'm really liking it. I hope you guys enjoy this video and I hope you guys are having a good week, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.